The sculptures and landscapes were built here in 1853 and 1854, and they were the first ever reconstructions of extinct animals. The landscapes were developed as an experience that people could walk through and understand the science of geology and the discoveries of paleontology, of fossils of animals that were extinct. It was just a completely new way to see the history of life.
I'd love to imagine people coming across them for the first time and seeing these huge creatures and thinking, what on earth is this, and wanting to know more about it. And that's really the intention of them, is to spark that imagination and spark the interest, and they still do that now, which is what makes me think they're so great.
The story is often told that they're inaccurate today. Well, they are inaccurate today, but science is always like that. They were using the best knowledge of the time, and so they really were the forefront of science. For that, they're remarkable. The reason we founded Friends of Crystal Palace Dinosaurs years ago is we noticed that the sculptures were in bad shape. If you look very closely, you'll see cracks and problems with the structure. We'd already been working with the council and the mayor's office and had 2 rounds of conservation work already done on a few of the sculptures. And in the meantime, last May, during the lockdown, there was an event that caused part of the most iconic sculpture, the megalosaur, to collapse, and we had to use emergency measures for repairs on this extraordinary sculpture.
There was a huge outpouring of love for the sculptures. All these different people from completely different walks of life from all over the world just started sending us funds to help the megalosaur and to help us do something about it. Because we'd received this money from the public, this meant that we were able to present match funding to the Cultural Recovery Fund when we made our application in conjunction with Bromley Council.
The Cultural Recovery Fund is allowing us to stabilise the sculpture and ensure that it doesn't get worse. We will make a prosthesis to make it look whole again until we get enough funding to actually restore the parts that have broken off.
So behind us we've got the new lightweight prosthesis that we've had 3D printed after having the damaged pieces 3D scanned. And we're now painting it to match the weathered historic material so that when we fit it to the megalosaur it will blend in and not appear as if it's had a new part fitted. There's some fixing points we've designed into the prosthesis, and then we've fabricated a new stainless steel armature, which we basically bolt that to the existing armature, and then the upper jaw is actually supported off the lower jaw with some fixings, which is really similar to the original construction where it had basically a block of masonry as a support. The idea is we can install this prosthesis and we're not interfering with the historic fabric at all, so everything's completely reversible for in the future when they come to do further conservation works.
One of the really nice things about being involved in the dinosaurs and being local is that when I can walk past and listen to children teaching their parents about dinosaurs, explaining that actually mummy or daddy, these days we think that this would have feathers or would stand on its hind legs. So it's really lovely to hear members of the public educate each other about them as well.
We're working on trying to preserve all the sculptures and ensure that they've got a long future, another 170 years if we can sort that out, because their message is one that is relevant perhaps even more today than before, because the understanding of how science works is really critical to living in a modern and improving world.